Hello, my name's Brittany Stormer. I am a senior who's double majoring in early childhood education and intervention specialist. So I will be able to teach K to 3 for early childhood when I graduate, and then K to 12 for the intervention specialist.
I'm Christy Wise. I'm a senior early childhood education major with a 4.5 endorsement. So what that means is when I graduate, I'll be able to teach age 3 to grade 5. And today we're going to be talking to you guys about active learning games, and then actually implementing and trying out one of those active learning games. And so active learning games are exactly what they sound like. They're games that involve active learning. So instead of a traditional classroom where the teacher is standing in the front of the room and teaching them about a particular topic and the kids are sitting at their desk and learning or doing a worksheet or something, they're up and they're moving and they're active participants in the learning process. And this is really important because especially elementary students, they're very active and they're very energetic and they just love to move. And sometimes it's really hard to keep them sitting in their seats to pay attention for a class, a lesson like that. So why not combine the two, learning and playing games? It's something that games are something they love to do. Learning is great too. Mix them together. So it breaks the mold of this is what I need to do. I need to teach this way. I am the teacher, you're the student, sit in the desk and listen. It breaks that mold and has them be actively involved. It keeps them participating in what's going on.
And so why are active learning games important? Why should you care about them? So active learning games are important because they strengthen a student's learning and can improve their memory and retrieval. Because if you're trying to remember something and you can remember or do a specific movement or pattern, then it's going to be easier to recall something and remember something. Active learning games also enhance learner motivation and morale because when students can move, they're more excited, they're encouraged, they're happy because they're not just sitting down at a desk. So they're going to feel more motivated to actually learn and be a part of the activity. And there's greater student concentration and there's engagement of students on all levels. So if you're a beginner level at something or you're advanced, it is great for any levels, any ages, and that is what is so important about active learning games. Movement also can make a student smarter, and there are great benefits for students with learning disabilities as well. Because like I said, it engages students all parts of their brains. It's getting them up and moving instead of just sitting down, and it's just keeping them energized, but also having them think about the things. And so what ages can this be used for? Active learning games can be used for all ages.
Which is really awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a hula review game. And basically what this is pretty much around the world, but with a bit of a twist. So it can be used for any grade level and can be adapted for any subject. It's one of those really basic universal games that you can tweak to use pretty much any time. So the things that you're going to need if you were to do this in your own future classrooms would be to have a 2-to-1 hula hoop to student ratio. So what that means is you need 2 hula hoops for every 1 student. And I'll explain why in a minute. But you need that. You need tape to connect the hula hoops together because they'll slide around and it'll be hard to keep them together, especially if a kid kicks a hula hoop and suddenly there's a big gap in your circle. So you need to have them taped together. And then index cards for questions to be written on. But what's important is you need to have 2 index cards for every 1 hula hoop that there are questions on. Because there's 2 students in a hula hoop, so you need to have materials for both. So the rules, basically what would happen is you would have 2 students, one in each hula hoop, standing together. So 2 students, space, 2 students, space, 2 students, space, going around the circle. And you would give them a card that tells them, okay, you're going to turn to the left, okay, you're going to turn to the right, and walk that way. And then explain to them that they need to take a step, 1 in each hula hoop. So, you can't be standing in between 2, but, 1 hula hoop per person. and go around the circle. When you meet up with somebody, which inevitably will happen if you're going facing each other, walking towards the same person, you're going to meet eventually. And then whatever hula hoop that you meet at, you're going to pick up an index card, one for each person, and there's going to be a question on it. So like, let's say the question is, what's 2 plus 2? The first person that answers correctly, which is 4, would move on, and the other student would be out. And what would happen for the student that's out is they would cheer for whichever student got them out. And then if that student got out, whoever got them out. So like, if we're playing and Brittany got me out, I would cheer for her. And then if she was going around and she got kicked out by another student, I would cheer for that student that got her out, and vice versa. And the goal of this is to keep those students involved and engaged. So like, they're listening, they're like, okay, who's going to get the next question right? Like, oh, that's my person over there. Like, they're going to be involved in the process. So like, it's not like, oh, well, I missed that question, I guess I'm done. No, they're involved in the process, and they're paying attention to those questions. And then at the end, there's a whole group of people cheering for one student and a whole group of people cheering for the other student, so that, you know, they're really encouraged to keep going and to try their best, because, man, all those people are cheering for me. And so you can change this for any subject area. You can do it for math facts, you can do it for vocab words, you can do it for parts of speech, you could do it for science, you could do it for pretty much anything, like social studies, history terms, like however you can think about putting terms on an index card, you can use this activity for, which is the goal, because you want to have your students up and actively learning, and this is a super simple way for them to be up, involved, and having fun at the same time. So if this were the actual EOTC conference, this is when we would have them actually play the game, because we've explained the rules, we've explained active learning, and now they're ready to just go on and do it.